Welcome, everybody. Welcome, welcome. Samara Lane here. I'm your relationship anxiety and ROCD coach. And today we are talking about the intrusive thought, what if I don't love my partner? Or what if I don't love my partner enough? So, as we get started here, and most people are going to watch the replay, but I'm going to tag everyone just in case anyone would love to pop in here. And then we'll dive right in. I'm super excited to share this. So, how this works is I come in here for a limited time only. I'm doing these every single week at 12 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. UK time. These are weekly Wednesday Facebook Lives in our Relationship Anxiety and ROCD group, my free Facebook group that I run that is private. Welcome, everybody. If you're joining live, let us know where are you watching from. We're so glad that you're here. Know that this is a very interactive space. So ask questions, share your experience. If something is a ding, ding, ding moment, like an aha, tell me in the comments. Let us know what's helping you. And if you have any questions about today's topic, then absolutely ask in the questions. We're asking the comments anytime. If you're watching the replay, know that I may not get to those questions, but for those of you watching live, absolutely, I'm going to answer as many of your questions as I possibly can if you throw those into the comments, okay? And today's live is going to be really in depth on this topic. So again, what if I don't love my partner? What if I don't love my partner enough? What if I've lost the love? And we're also going to talk about connection and chemistry because this is often about feelings. Am I feeling the way I should? This feels differently than it should, or that I used to feel, or that I always thought I should feel, or that I felt with someone else in the past, right? We can have these stories that really invalidate the experience we're having now and get us on the train, on the thought train, and down the rabbit hole of anxiety, OCD tendencies. So again, welcome, welcome. I'm Samara Lane, your ROCD and relationship anxiety coach. Today we're talking about love, connection, and chemistry. I'm going to get right into it in just a moment. Tell me if any of these intrusive thoughts sound familiar. What if I'm not feeling the love? What if I don't feel any love for my partner? What if I feel like the opposite, like repulsed by my partner? What if I feel numb? I feel nothing for my partner? What if they kiss me, I don't feel something? Or when we're having sex, I'm not feeling present? Or fill in the blank situation, right? What if I've never really felt feelings for my partner in the way that I thought I should or that I thought I would? What if this has been different than I expected from day one with my partner? What if I used to feel love for my partner and now I don't? What does it mean? Do I even love them? Am I just convincing myself to stay? So, first and foremost, this is ROCD, y'all. This is relationship OCD. This is relationship anxiety. If you know, you know. And if you're still like just discovering these terms and you're new to the language we're using here, definitely stay tuned. You're going to get so much value out of this. And if you've known that you've struggled with ROCD or relationship anxiety or any form of insecure attachment for years, maybe you've already been working through this for a long time, you're going to love the truths and the reminders that we come back to today. And you're probably going to hear some things in a new light, in a new way, and it's going to stick for you in a way that it hasn't before. Okay. I remember there were so many times in my past where, I would feel the good feels with a partner. I would feel the good feels with my partner, and then suddenly I wouldn't. Like my mind was like, where did it go? It was like almost like a switch turned off, or I just didn't feel anything, or maybe it was like a romantic occasion or some special time, and I didn't feel the way I thought I should feel, and my mind went into the spiral of, oh my God, where did it go? Will I ever get that feeling back? Does this mean something about our relationship? Does this mean that I'll never feel that way again? Does this mean that I've chosen the wrong partner? Does this mean that I'll never really be happy or that I need to leave? The whole gamut. I felt it all. What does your story sound like around this? If you've ever struggled with, am I feeling the way I should feel? Do I really love my partner or not? Share in the comments. How does this feel for you? How does this show up for you? How does this sound or feel or look when you're triggered, when you're in it? Share in the comments, whether you're watching live or the replay. If you are watching the replay, please comment the word replay so everyone in the group can get more access to this video. That pushes it up to the top so people can get this free this free content, this free help. Okay. And so I want you to know that yes, this can feel terrifying. I've been there. We've been there. You're not alone. And it's one of the most common experiences with relationship anxiety and ROCD. And today I'm going to help you break free from the fears, the intrusive thoughts that are fueling this without faking it or lying to yourself or feeling like you're dishonoring yourself. And I'm going to share some ways that you can actually rekindle and enjoy more of that love and connection and intimacy with your partner, from a place that does not feed into compulsions, because that's the most important piece, right? We can do anything compulsively if we're doing it with the wrong intention. So we'll talk more about that, okay? Yes, you get to feed and nurture and put lots of love and connection and like you get to have all the joy and the chemistry and the love in your relationship in a genuine way, and it doesn't have to fall into compulsions and OCD. I'm going to share with you how we can do this differently. Okay. I'm getting married soon. I've been having quite a bit of anxiety. I'm looking at your comments surrounding that. Okay, so we have some questions. Beautiful. Yeah. Beautiful. Let me know your questions. One person shares, anxiety is what I feel, and then I push them away. I do things that I know will distance us. Yeah, so that inner protector is activated and feeling scared and unsafe. It's equating that the relationship isn't safe even when you're in a healthy, loving relationship, and it's creating some distance because since the relationship can trigger the anxiety that already was rooted within us before we even met our partner that maybe we weren't even aware of, the mind is associating it with danger, right? The relationship, the partner, they must be the problem, when really the problem is never really the problem, right? This anxiety is something that has lived within us. The roots of it have lived within us long before we met our partner. A lot of mine is not feeling the physical attraction. Yes. So when you feel the cringe, when you feel the ick, right? Ooh, am I really going to stay happy with my partner forever? Sometimes I just don't like the way they look. I'm not attracted to them. Maybe I'm repulsed by them, right? I cringe when he touches me sometimes, even if it's just sweet gesture ways. Yep. Totally hear you. Avoidance, pulling away in intimacy moments, feeling like I'm faking it because I don't feel the love. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. If you know, you know. This is ROCD, my loves. So really quick, I'm excited to share with you the wisdom that we're gonna unlock today. First, if you don't know me yet, I'm Samara Lane. I'm a certified life coach and a relationship anxiety and ROCD expert. For over 5 years, I've been coaching countless clients through ROCD and insecure attachment all over the world. And what this has taught me is that relationships and partners are not meant to be perfect. They are really here to expand you and teach you about love. And the truth is, there's this great myth that we've all grown up with, okay? We've been taught to do love and life from the wrong place, up here. We're taught to do it from here. We're taught to live and breathe up here through our ego, through our mind, through logic, through fear, right? And we're taught to worry and doubt and worry about our choices, our relationships, our feelings, our everything, until we've really forgotten who we truly are. You are a spiritual being having a human experience. You are not your mind. You are not the ego. You're not the doubt. You are not the body. You are the one who watches. You are the one who can actually see through and does see through the BS, the fear, the doubt, and knows their loving truth in those rare, precious moments of peace. We've all had them, even if it's been a really long time, even if sometimes it feels so few and far between. We've all had those little peaceful moments in our life where we know that we can't choose wrong. The soul knows that you can't choose wrong. Your soul knows that your relationship is expanding you and it's here to expand you. And that is really the purpose of love and life. Your soul knows that you are safe to trust in the ebb and flow of life. And that includes your feelings. That includes your attraction. That includes the experiences physiologically, mentally, emotionally that you're having in your relationship with your partner and in every area of life. And so we're going to talk about that in just a moment. First, really quick, one last thing. If you are not familiar with my story, I'm an ROCD survivor and thriver. Long before I was a relationship anxiety coach, I was a professional doubter. I was a professional doubter, y'all. In my relationships, I would obsess. Do I really love my partner? Am I really attracted to them? Am I settling? Are we really compatible? Am I making a big mistake? Is this going to ruin my life someday? Do I need to leave my relationship feeling sad and scared to lose my relationship? So am I just staying because I don't want to be alone? And at the same time, feeling this fear of what if I'm choosing wrong, and feeling this hypervigilance around I have to make sure that I'm safe and confident in my relationship. I have to foresee the danger and make the perfect choice. Otherwise, I could ruin my life or my kids or fill in the blank or my partners. Or the coin would flip and I would panic. Does my partner really love me? Do they really love me enough? Am I just kidding myself here? What if they leave me? What if they cheat on me? What if they lose interest? Right? All I wanted was peace in myself, happiness with my partner, and a rock solid trust, like a knowing that I'd made a great choice without lying to myself, without staying for the wrong reasons. And so, if any of that sounds like you, you're in the right place. After years of searching for answers, I finally cracked the code and found freedom. Not just sometimes, once in a while, freedom, but real, true, lasting, genuine freedom. This doesn't mean that we never feel anxiety or we never feel a relationship challenge again. However, it does mean that we can feel truly deeply at peace and at ease and know our truth in our core, in our bones. And it doesn't mean waking up and realizing that we've chosen the wrong partner. It means awakening to the love, the peace, the confidence, the calm, the happiness, the joy, the connection that was there all along, standing right in front of us, within ourselves and within our relationship. Through doing my inner work, I realized that all of this anxiety was truly just my soul's journey back to my authentic self. The part of me who knows I'm always safe, who feels connected deeply to my safety, my trust, my peace, and doesn't need to leave a healthy relationship to prove it. And just because your partner is different from you, and just because they drive you crazy sometimes and you want to rip their head off sometimes, and just because the anxiety screams at you, because the inner protector can feel really strong and activated. It can feel really true because to the trauma brain, it is true, right? Even when we are in a safe situation, right? Even when those things are present, it doesn't mean that you have chosen wrong. It doesn't mean you are in an unhealthy relationship. It means you are with a person and you're both human. Today, I am genuinely grateful in my journey, in my healing path. I'm genuinely grateful and loving life and enjoying my life with my incredible partner, even though we are far from perfect. I now guide my clients through Unstoppable Love, which is a proven holistic program for overcoming relationship anxiety and ROCD for good, healing it from the root holistically on every level that matters, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, somatically, and beyond. Unstoppable Love is also perfect for healing all forms of insecure attachment, anxious attachment, avoidant attachment, disorganized attachment. I've worked with clients who have it all. Most of my clients have trauma in their past. Most of my clients are people who have done lots of therapy or done coaching before. Maybe it's never really stuck, and now they're finally getting the relief that they need. So no matter how long or intense your doubts have been, freedom is possible, no matter if your situation seems different, no matter if you've done inner work before and it's never really stuck. You can get through this, okay? I promise that it's not scientifically possible, that you are the exception. So if you are interested in working together, before I dive in here, definitely check out samaralane.com. You can book a free clarity call. It's easy, no pressure, no commitment, just a way to explore aligned solutions that feel good to you. And with that said, let's dig right in, okay? You can learn all of that at samaralane.com. If you are struggling with thoughts, welcome everyone, like what if I don't really love my partner, or what if I don't love my partner enough? This is where I want to start today. This is what I would ask you, okay? This is what I would ask you. How are you defining love? How do you define love? What does love mean to you? This is such a loaded word. It doesn't have to be. Maybe it wasn't always, but it has become such a loaded word with so much conditioning, societal conditioning. And think about all of the memes and the things that people create on social media to be sensational and polarizing, and that can activate you, right? Like think about all of the lore, all the fairy tales, all the myths, all the TV shows, the reality shows, the movies, Hollywood, Disney. Think about all of the things that we have been conditioned to believe and accept without thinking as truth about this word love. How are you defining love? Are you defining it as a feeling? Because, well, feelings are like the weather. They come and go. They're always changing, right? Are you defining it as butterflies or sparks or those like high highs? Well, that's not really sustainable in any area of life, right? If love was just a feeling, then sometimes you love your child and sometimes you hate them. Sometimes you love your job, sometimes you hate it, right? Is it really that you truly no longer love someone when you're angry, when you're sad, when you're anxious, when you're depressed, right? When you're feeling a little disconnected maybe from yourself and therefore from life and your partner? Is it really true that just because you've lost some of the spark or the high after buying a piece of furniture that now this piece of furniture is no longer right for you and you have to get rid of it? No, we don't put this same level of pressure on other parts of our life. We are taught very much from the time we can, hear and understand and perceive, we are taught to put this level of perfectionism and idealism on relationships, on our romantic relationships specifically, to be everything, to fill every cup, to meet and check every box. Even though we are actually a tribal species, we are meant to have our cup filled and our life nurtured through many different types of relationships and connections. And again, feelings like the weather, they are always changing. And even on a cloudy day, there is still sun. The sun is always shining. It's not like the love has disappeared and you'll never get it back, right? But the more we search, the more we grasp, the more we cling to a feeling, the more we actually push it away, right? Because feelings can only ebb and flow when we are practicing radical acceptance and compassion for ourselves, our humanity, and our experience. Where did you learn? So there's the first question. How are you defining love? Where did you learn that definition of love? Media, culture, myths, literal fairy tales that we grew up with. Are you putting a fair and reasonable expectation on yourself and your relationship? I think also we can often compare our relationship to other people's, right? To other people's highlight reels. Someone posts a gratitude post about their partner online. Oh, they're the best partner. Da, 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 da. They don't post every time that there's an argument or an emotional wound or a doubt or a fear or a struggle that comes up. They don't post all of that, right? Often we can hear from we might compare to, oh, my best friend, they're so happy in their relationship. Okay, well, would you even want a relationship like that? Take into account all the other things, right? Sometimes someone is dead sure about a relationship. Think about all the people you've known who were dead sure. Yep, this is for me. This is the one. I feel so much love. Da, 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 da. And then later that relationship ends up ending, right? And so if any of this is triggering, I want you to take some deep breaths into that tense place in your body. Know that if I share anything that is helpful, right, that is bringing you closer to peace and presence and radical acceptance and compassion for yourself in this moment, you get to take that. And if anything leads you down a rabbit hole of fear, then know that that's not for you, that's for someone else, and you can take and leave what actually works for you. You get to trust in yourself and your process, right? But often we can put these big comparisons and expectations, and we're like zooming into one little thing. One person, wonderful date that they went on. Oh, I don't have that with my partner anymore. Maybe I'm with the wrong person. Are you putting a fair and reasonable expectation on yourself in your relationship? Or are you subscribing to someone else's definition of love, connection, intimacy, success, happiness? And is their definition even yours? Does it even align with your values? If there is some perfectionism and idealism coming up, does that even align with your values? Do you really want life to be perfect, or do you want it to be real? Do you need other people to be perfect, or do you just want them to be real? I saw a post the other day that was actually a wonderful one. It said, real is more attractive than perfect. How's that? Love that one so much. Yes. So keep your questions coming, my loves. Also, you can ask yourself, do you have a tendency to project your feelings onto your relationship? This is a huge one, right? I have noticed in my past, there's been a tendency to, if I'm not feeling totally loving and accepting and confident and just that like peace and ease with myself, then I might be more likely to nitpick my relationship or search for the imperfections or search for, is it Is it good? Is it good enough? Am I feeling the way I should feel? Do I love them enough? Am I attracted to them enough? Et cetera, et cetera. Right? Or I'm having a rough, stressful day, stressful moment. And so I'm feeling less patient with my partner and maybe more likely to judge or snip and then that can just trigger the Achilles heel that was already there of our OCD, right? That's our kind of like what one person has described as like an escape hatch fantasy. It's where we tend to go when we're feeling scared or hurt because of past relational trauma, because of being highly sensitive, if you identify as that, because of just being a deep thinker and feeler, someone who might be prone to anxiety or overthinking, because you're such a creative, incredibly analytical, deep thinking person, right? And so it just goes there, right? And so we're projecting our own internal states, maybe our own dissatisfaction with life or ourselves onto our partner or relationship, or we're looking to our partner and relationship to make us feel better when really that is our job. When you're not feeling great in some other area of your life, like work or stress or school, do you notice your mind seeking more reassurance from your relationship or partner, or having more fearful thoughts about it? That's helpful data. Notice the patterns. Notice that really the core of our fears and our anxiety stem from within ourselves. And then the mind projects it, right? Like a movie, like a projector projecting onto a movie screen. It's like placing this story or this fear or this dissatisfaction we have in life for ourselves onto things around us. And our relationship is one of the lowest hanging fruits because it's deeply intimate and personal. Society has told us to place our worth and value and happiness on a relationship, on a romantic partner especially, right? And to fill every cup and meet every need. So there's this tendency to identify with our partner as if our partner is an extension of us, when really they get to be their own person and you get to be their own person. So how are you defining love? Are you defining it as a feeling? If so, maybe time to reevaluate. What would be a more helpful definition of love? Are you defining love as a mindset? Like your thoughts are what dictate whether you love your partner? Well, that's also going to set us up for failure, right? Not all thoughts are true, and most automatic thoughts are based in fear, right? Because we have a negativity bias. I could do a whole live just on the negativity bias, that we're wired to notice the negative and look out for perceived threats and danger, even when they are not there. 99% of the time, they are never there, right? In real life, it's not actually that when we're about to take a test in school tomorrow that we might die, but it can feel like life or death for our nervous system because that's the caveman brain that we still carry, right? We're wired for the fight, flight, freeze, and fawn response. So not all thoughts are true. Be highly skeptical of every thought that comes in. Not like you need to be vigilant about your thoughts, but take them less seriously. This is just a movie. You're just watching a movie playing these old stories on the screen. We want to stop pausing in the middle of the movie and going, oh my gosh, everything is bad. These are just thoughts. Thoughts are just thoughts. You are in charge of your choices. You are in charge of your life. You know deep down what your values are and what matters to you, right? And you deep down know that relationships are not meant to be perfect. They're here to expand you. So again, what's your thought and mindset around this? What glasses are you wearing as you look at your relationship? This is a helpful question to ask yourself. Am I looking through anxiety goggles? Am I looking through fear glasses? Am I looking through a lens of doubt or like neediness or scarcity, like I need something from my partner in order to feel okay? Are you looking through a lens of curiosity, a lens of open-heartedness? You always get to choose. And first it starts with awareness and forgiving the thoughts and thanking this inner protector, forgiving ourselves for having these thoughts, forgiving our brain for having these automatic thoughts, and allowing the emotions, breathing into them, letting yourself go limp like a noodle, and just knowing that this too shall pass, and being so kind and compassionate with your self-talk, right? It starts with self-soothing, which is what I literally just described to you. And then we get to choose a new lens. You get to choose a new lens, babe. You're not stuck. Do you want to look through a lens of acceptance? Are you looking through a lens of gratitude for life, for yourself, for your partner? Are you looking through a lens of what ifs, fear, nitpicking, frustration, not enoughness, insecurity, comparison. Notice what lens you're looking through. This goes to for attraction, for chemistry, for all of these things, right? Same goes for any of these things. How are you defining these words? Are you expecting it to be butterflies, electricity, and rainbows all the time? Where did you learn that definition? Where might that actually come from? Is it really coming from real genuine loving relationships? Right? Most of the data we get isn't from people who've actually had a 40-year marriage where they went through some hard times and they learned to love and accept their partner anyway. Most of our definitions are coming from perfectionistic ideals, right? And we live in an era of, swipe on Tinder, you can find someone new. In an era of infinite choice, and in a lot of cultures, we live with a lot of privilege, right? And so noticing what might some of the mindset be around this that might be fueling this. Consider the source. Consider the source of where you learned the definition of chemistry or connection, right? When you see a meme or a reel pop up on TikTok or Instagram and you're like, oh my gosh, that's so triggering. Is that me? Am I lying to myself? It doesn't feel like this person says it should feel. Who made that meme? What is the purpose of that meme? Is it to give actual data-based, like proven, real, scientific information around what actually makes relationships thrive and work? What genuine, true love actually looks like? Or is it there to polarize, right? To get people riled up, to get engagement, to get shares, to get followers? What might be the agenda behind it? If it's a TV show or a movie, what's the agenda, right? It's to paint a certain picture because people will consume it. So notice what the agenda might be. What do you choose to subscribe to? What definition of love would feel helpful? Don't worry about is it true or not. We could argue all day about what's true and what's not. What would feel like a helpful, more realistic, and more honest definition of love? Love is a choice. Love is an action. We don't feel love, we choose love, and we do love. We choose love when we choose to stay with our partner even though we're having an anxiety attack. We choose love when we choose to stay and go within and get curious and do our inner work. We choose love and we choose curiosity instead of running away, right? We choose love when we keep kissing our partner even though we don't feel anything, because eventually we will again, right? As long as we continue doing our inner work and not grasping for that feeling or trying to resist and run away from the feelings that we don't want. So much of this is our relationship to ourself, right? It's our relationship to ourself, which is rooted in a lot of past trauma, relational wounds, conditioning, and that's what we're here to shed and break free and come back to the authentic you that knows that you are safe no matter what, right? Are you expecting positive feelings of chemistry and connection to always be there? Like you always have to be laughing, you always have to be talking, you always have to be having a great time or feel this special spark? Because that's not sustainable. We have honeymoon phases. Some people do. Some people don't even have that in a relationship. Some people never experience a quote honeymoon goo goo gaga stage. But the people who do, it's going to ebb and flow. It's going to change. It's going to go away. It's going to be different. That's mature love. We're going to have power struggles. The power struggle stage in a relationship is an important and required stage in getting to that mature, grounded, peaceful love that's not just based on hormones and like, ooh, it's new, it's fun, but is actually based on a real, true, sustainable love and connection, right? This is all part of the ebb and flow of life. Are you assigning meaning and significance to the thoughts and feelings when really many of them are based in fear? Are you looking to chemistry or connection to like save you from the sometimes mundane or boring parts of life? Because that's just life. Sometimes the sex will be good, sometimes it'll suck. That's completely normal. Sometimes our partner will delight us and sometimes they will repulse us. We will get the ick. Sometimes we will feel deeply unattracted to them, like, ugh, right? Sometimes we will feel disappointed in them. We will feel triggered by them. These are all normal experiences. So are you putting fair and reasonable expectations on yourself and your relationship, or are you subscribing to someone else's definition of love, connection, or success, right? And so, next up, I'm going to talk about how to feel more of the love and connection and intimacy. What can you actually do, right? As far as the anxiety, and also, and also just in like with your anxiety hat on, what do you do for the anxiety? What's your inner workplace so you're not coming from a compulsive place of just trying to cope? And also with your relationship hat on, what are you doing in the relationship to create loving openings for that? Okay. Yes. Okay. So where are my comments? Where are the comments? Where are they going? Y'all, okay, everybody, I'm seeing some of your comments, but some of them are not showing up for me anymore. Okay, so I'm going to respond to as many of these as I can. Can you feel the same magical feelings like what you felt in the beginning of the relationship, even after years of being together? Can you feel the same magical feelings like what you felt in the beginning of the relationship, even after years of being together? Yes and no. It's always possible to feel really magical feelings in a relationship, right? It's possible to rekindle or have like a fresh experience that like allows us to see our partner, our relationship in like a fresh light where it feels like that spark and that romance is back. But there's some caveats I give to this. Number one, are you searching for it to be exactly the way it was? Because that's going into the past. That's based in fear and lack and scarcity. You're not meant to go back in the past and do life the way it used to. I do this work a lot with my clients, right? Oh, I used to be happier when I was younger before I had anxiety, or I used to feel these feelings with my partner before it changed. You're not meant to live in the past. You're not. What's ahead of you, what experiences you get to have in your life and in your relationship now and in the future are so much richer. It's not so if we compare, if we're always going, is this like it was in the beginning or not? Then we're setting ourselves up for unhappiness. Don't compare it to the past. And yes, you can create new richness. You can have new experiences. You can breathe new life into your relationship. Really, like think about like a power plant. A nuclear power plant doesn't just have power. It creates it, it generates it, it actively, proactively creates power. And that's relationships too. They aren't just like a fun experience or not a fun experience, and that's the way it always will be. Well, there's going to be some ebb and flow, and also we get to create the relationship we want with our partner, and that does take work, right? It does take work. In the beginning, I think a big difference is it can feel effortless. It can feel like, and it can feel so intense, and know that that is not genuine love. That is not sustainable. As the saying goes, love and relationships it will require you to fall in and out of love with the same person over and over and over again. Like that's what it is, right? And so, yes, we can feel great feelings again. Know that any of those feelings, whether they're in a relationship, they're around money or career, or going on a vacation, like no matter what it is in life, those feelings are going to be temporary. Everything is temporary. Everything is temporal and transitory. Don't notice if you're putting a lot of importance on seeking and chasing those feelings in order to feel reassured that you are okay, that you've made a good choice. And that's not very kind and loving to yourself. So notice the inner critic, notice that old pattern that this wounded shadow self has, and choose a loving thought instead. It's okay to feel this way. However I'm feeling right now is perfectly natural, normal, and healthy, and this too shall pass, right? Someone says, I can imagine a passionate love playing out, but I'm not sure if the person I have that with would be a good life companion. I'm just starting to believe that a healthy relationship is more of a friendship with less of that passion, desire, and love. Absolutely. What matters far more than the constant passion and desire and love and sexiness is your friendship, right? Is your relationship, does it have a basis of friendship? This doesn't mean you never fight. This doesn't mean you never drive each other crazy, right? This doesn't mean that you are each other's everything, but having a foundation of a friendship is actually something that studies of successful marriages shows is something that does matter. And so what are we doing to nurture our friendship? Are we going out? Do we still make some time to go out and carve time to do some fun things with each other and have new experiences? That could be in the bedroom. That could be taking a cooking class. That could be going on an adventure. That could just be like buying one of those intimacy card decks online and like asking each other questions or playing a game or something or whatever, making a vision board together for this year, making music together. It could be anything. Um, so a basis of friendship. Friendship also requires that when people get their feelings hurt, that we talk openly on both sides so that we're not just harboring resentment and letting it build up and build up and build up. So notice where you might tend to not speak up and just let it fester, or where you might tend to overreact and put everything and dump everything on your partner, and what would help you regulate in those moments so that you can feel safe talking and opening up, or so that you can feel safe regulating yourself first and then open up honestly with your partner, right? Yeah, yeah. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And there was one other question that was asked a little bit ago, and it's not showing me it anymore. So if you see your question has been skipped, just feel free to copy and paste it in here again, and I'll answer those. Yes, beautiful, beautiful. Okay. Before I read anything more, I'm gonna share with you how we can feel more love and connection. You could also call this chemistry, intimacy, whatever. How can you feel more love and connection in your relationship? And honestly, a lot of this has to do with attraction too. First of all, stop looking for it. Stop looking for it, my love. It comes when you least expect it. Expect that it will ebb and flow. It is natural. It is meant to come and go, right? Embrace that there are times that we will feel closer to our partner or more love for our partner or attraction for them, and times where we will feel further apart and disconnected. We might feel numb. We might feel repulsed. This is completely natural and normal. Normalize discomfort. It is a part of relationships. It is a part of life. Normalize the discomfort. Normalize the discomfort. When we are only searching for comfort and good, the message we send ourselves is, I can't cope and I need to grasp for something outside of myself in order to be okay. You are more than enough already, and you can manage these ebbs and flows. It is innate. It is a natural ability that we all have. We just didn't always get the tools we needed to build those skills. And so that's what I do with my clients now in Unstoppable Love and my other coaching programs. And I also want to share with you, how can you create openings where love and connection can be more freely experienced, where they can have space to come in. Okay, again, there's no guarantee, and we're not doing this from a state of mind of I must feel better or I must get out of this anxiety. If you do anything with that mindset, it will only perpetuate the anxiety. So forgive that part of yourself that makes mistakes and goes into compulsion sometimes. It's just trying to protect you, right? And anything, even the most healthy things, like meditation, for example, can be misused compulsively if we're trying to immediately feel better and get reassurance or immediately avoid a negative sensation or feeling in our body. Okay? So we want to do these practices for the sake of doing them, for the sake of loving and accepting and embracing ourselves as we are. For instance, a way that you could create some spaciousness where love and connection may more easily flow through would be to be present, to be in the here and now moment through your breath. There's all kinds of helpful effects that going into breath work creates for us, right? So through your breath, you always have your breath, through your five senses, right? Being present in the here and now moment. What are you looking around you and seeing? What can you feel in touch with your skin? What do you smell? What do you hear? Slowly taking in the world around you through your five senses. What a gift that we even get to be alive in these bodies and have our five senses. Imagine if we didn't have them, right? Your breath is always there. It also tells your nervous system, when you take slow, deep, mindful breaths, it tells your nervous system we are safe. You can start down regulating, right? It flips the switch so that your body can start de-stressing and regulating its anxiety on its own, which is one of the keys to lasting peace and happiness. Something else you could do to create spaciousness for love and intimacy in your relationship is Go on a walk together. Get outside. It's way harder to be anxious when you are walking for multiple reasons with the brain and everything that we're not going to go into today. It's a de-stressor. That fresh air, we are naturally going to just feel differently or show up differently. It's just a different kind of environment. Get out of the house if you notice that you've been inside the house a lot, and go on a walk with your partner. Take a shower together. You could go somewhere where you get to swim together, get in the hot tub, get into some water together. First of all, if it's private like a shower, there's an opportunity for intimacy to come in as well. That can be fun. Also, just water can be very grounding and soothing and relaxing. Again, we're connecting with our five senses. You could try an activity together, like I mentioned, a cooking class, creating a vision board. You could just cook together in the kitchen one night. You could try making a new recipe, try doing something you've never done before together, playing a game. You could, if you live together, another one that I love is you could create a gratitude journal that you keep in your bathroom. It's like a shared couples gratitude journal. You keep it in the bathroom, and every time one of you goes in there to use the bathroom, you write something down in there that you appreciate about your partner, something specific, maybe something that they did or said in the last week or two, or just a memory you have that you share that you appreciate about them, or a quality or a trait or value that they represent that you really appreciate about them. And it will feel hard sometimes to think of something, and when you do it anyway and force yourself to come up with something, even something small, you are going to increase the positive sentiment in your relationship, okay? So a couples gratitude journal is a great one. Another thing you can do to create more love and intimacy is allow the feelings to come and go freely. Thank and forgive that misguided protector inside of you for trying to keep you safe by creating this anxiety and this fear response, okay? Be loving and kind to yourself. Allow the feelings to ebb and flow naturally. It's healthy, it's normal. Adopt a mindset of curiosity, right? When the good feelings come, don't cling to them. Ooh, this is fun. I'm just going to get curious and just enjoy this experience. When the negative feelings come, ooh, I'm just going to get curious. This is another human experience. How deep can I go into these feelings of discomfort? How long can I stay with them? How can I relax my body? Let my body go limp like a noodle. Can I lessen the tension in my face, my brow, my jaw, even 1% or 10% as I let my body have this experience and say compassionate words to myself? This is healing. So a mindset of curiosity. What if everything is working out better than I expected? What if everything is actually working out even better than my mind thinks right now? What if? We do a lot of what ifs on the worst case scenarios. What if everything's working out even better than we can even see yet? And we just get to be. And then again, gratitude. Gratitude. What are you grateful for in yourself, in your partner, and in your life? Also just having conversations with your partner about kinks, fantasies, if like sexual intimacy is something that you would love to work on with your partner, that can be really healing to explore and play. Maybe it's reading a book or watching pornography together if that's something that you're comfortable with, or buying a new sex toy if that's something that you guys are open to. So there's all kinds of things we can do that just get to create more space for open communication, for being there together, for recognizing what we do appreciate, and just creating more newness and freshness in our relationship. Exactly. Magical, intense feelings come and go, so don't get attached to them. Yes, you can feel them, and yes, you will not feel them, right? And I mean, think about it. Is it sustainable to be in a really intense, high vibe state all the time where you're like, I'm so happy, I love my partner so much, all the time, each and every day? Is that really sustainable? That's a little exhausting. We're not meant to be in that high state all the time. Maybe not even most of the time, but you can feel this pleasant, this pleasant ease and this calm around it. So yes, notice if you're getting attached and release attachment to that feeling, knowing that it's all acceptable, it's all safe, it's all natural and normal and healthy, and you're okay. You're okay to feel your feelings. Someone says, I actually got over ROCD and relationship anxiety. Woohoo! But I have a fear of going through that again. I hear you. So that means that a little bit of anxiety, like that anticipatory anxiety, is coming up, right? Because what you went through was maybe even feeling kind of traumatic in some ways. Like it was the worst thing you've ever experienced is what I'm reading here. It was super confusing. So you're asking, is it possible for it to come back? I do feel like I have a stronger mindset and to try not to entertain the thoughts if they do come back and check feelings. Hell yeah, that'll always serve you. So you get to keep strengthening that. Also, ROCD happened after 5 months relationship. Now we're 1 year and 2 months in. We're planning to get engaged, but I always have that fear that it will come back. So that fear of it coming back, if we treat that fear as true, as powerful, as yes, oh my gosh, it's going to come back. If we assign lots of meaning and significance and scary doom and gloom to it coming back, what we're actually doing is now we're looking again through fear goggles. You're actually going to be more likely to experience more negative thoughts, to have anxiety come back. So don't be afraid of the thoughts. Don't be afraid of it coming back. I know that's easier said than done. What I invite you to do instead is to notice the fear, right? Notice the fear. Treat it just the same as you would treat the ROCD. Oh, that's a thought. I notice my mind having the thought, what if it comes back? Maybe it will, maybe it won't. Either way, I have tools. I have the ability to cope and get through this. It will never be necessarily exactly the same. It doesn't, just because I experience anxiety or fear again someday in my life, right? We don't want to put pressure on like, I can never feel ROCD again because it was so terrible, right? Again, that disempowers us. And again, it just puts us into fear mode again. It's another fear response trying to protect you. Instead, what would be helpful, empowering language or self-talk around this? What would help you to feel like no matter what happens, I've freaking got this. I am resilient and everything is learning. Everything is expansion. Everything is growth. Wow, if I hadn't gone through that super painful time at the 5-month mark with ROCD, I never would have mastered what I've mastered and learned about myself now. This has made me a more resilient person so that no matter where anxiety or discomfort might come up in my life, right? It may never come back in your relationship. So I also want you to give yourself permission to like entertain what if actually it may never come back. Right? It may never come back. It may never, and if it ever did, it may never be as painful as it was. But again, we don't want to resist anything. We don't want to resist and put a pressure on ourselves of, I can't cope, I can't handle that, it can't come back. Because then we're doing the same exact thing of resisting, of trying to control, right? So instead, what would be a more helpful mindset or perspective so that no matter what life brings, no matter whether it's your work that stresses you out or you feel some fears in your relationship or whatever it is, like when we get engaged, that can sometimes bring up some commitment fears. It may not for you. Doesn't mean that it will. Give yourself lots of expansion, openness for what if everything is working out even better than I expected? What if my engagement goes even better than I expected? What if my healing journey is going even smoother than I realize or expect? Look at all the possible outcomes and remember, you've got this, right? It will never be exactly like it was in the sense that you are a new version of yourself now. You have learned and mastered so much. So give yourself some credit. Oh my gosh, this was so good. This live went longer than I even expected. This was so, so beautiful. Thank you so much for tuning in and being here with me today. If you know that you're ready for support, I have self-paced courses, my whole step-by-step system. I have master classes and private coaching and group programs for every budget at samaralane.com. You can learn all about healing and transcending and overcoming relationship anxiety, relationship OCD, and insecure attachment there. And I can't wait to support you in our next live. Thank you so much. Mwah. Again, if you're watching the replay, say hi in the comments. Let me know that you're watching the replay, and I'll see you again soon. Till next time, this is Samara.